Okay, thanks again for joining us this week. We're going to be doing this regularly, where we have three of the All Sports Tucson writers come to you. This All Sports Tucson Talk. We've been at Wings Over Broadway a lot before this coronavirus pandemic started. So this is our way of still talking about sports. And once things come back to normal, whenever that is, we can go back to Wings Over Broadway and drink beer and eat wings and talk sports. But for now, we'll have to do this. Basically, I'm Javier Morales. There's Andy Morales, my brother, and Troy Hutchison. The discussion I wanted to talk about was girls and women's basketball in Tucson, the way it's really flourishing right now, highlighted by Adia Barnes at the U of A, the way they've been coming on strong, and they're going to be really good next year. They're going to be a top 10 preseason team with Ari McDonald coming back and some of the guard play that's coming in, and they're bolstering their front court. But we'll talk about that probably in another show. What I want to talk about is just the way women's and girls basketball is coming on strong with Arizona, Pima College, Todd Holthouse. 6 times he's been to the national tournament. They would have went this year when nobody really thought they could after losing JJ Nakai and Shauna Bribiescas last year. They're both All-Americans. They came back and were going to go to the national tournament because of a Tucson area player, Alyssa Perez from Marana. She was the leader of that team. And then just yesterday or this week, Andy, you've been writing a lot about Pima's signings. They signed Adelman from Paula Verde, Chavez from Rio Rico, Jaslyn Booker from Buena, and also the guard over there. That's real. I was impressed by her, the Lydia Griffith. We got to see them play against Marana kind of late in the season, and I was impressed with the way Lydia Griffith. She's not like a highlight reel player, but she's very heady, very smart, and I think with all those local players that he's going to have in his roster, it's going to be something else. I think he's going to have at least around 8 Tucson players on his roster next year. And this is a program that goes to national tournaments. It's not just a token appreciation of local talent. These are really good players. So let me ask you, Andy, what do you remember a time like this where there's been so much good basketball players that are girls or women players in Tucson?
It's usually in the past, since I've been doing this my 13th year now, it's been like maybe 1 or 2 every other year. Starting when I started, I was Kashala Thompson at Saguaro, which is Thompson. I forget his first name. He played for Fred Snowden and Lute Olson. Harvey Thompson, his daughter. Mm-hmm. And then, Christine Clark at Tucson High went on to the Ivy League, and Lanny Hernandez, who's now assistant coach at Pima. And then, the Alexis Cortez right behind Julie Brazing in scoring. And then, Stallworth, Sydney Stallworth. Jamie Swan, who went on to Colorado, was a big miss for Nia Butts at U of A. That was the biggest miss. That would be like, I don't want to say Sean Elliott, but it could have been a program changer if she came to U of A. But that was a missed opportunity. And, now you mentioned Booker and Griffith. They took an 0-26 Buena team. And by the time they were seniors, they were legitimate 5A state contenders. And you forgot to mention Mariah Clark, who from Pueblo.
That's right. The last signee yesterday.
Of that group that did the same thing, took him to a state championship game in 3 years. And then Todd's known for point guard for women, as like U of A's for men. So he has the 5'8" to 5'10" point guards down pat. And he's got a couple of good ones with the ones he's bringing in now. But it's, with Alyssa Brown, who may reach 3,000 points, and Kaya DeRoe, this is probably, and a couple of her teammates and a few other stars in town, this is probably the best group, not just one, but group of women, young women that Tucson has seen. And like I said, Dosty, there's always been one good one powerful one, but then it's been a couple of years. Now we have a bunch together.
And Troy, you've watched Sabino a lot this year, and you've wrote about them. So what are your thoughts about what kind of talent are on that team coming up?
Well, when you look at that roster, I think it speaks volumes where they were able to lose their star point guard and Cameron Rhodes and go on and still win its state title. I said to you flat out, man, I don't think they can do it right after she got hurt. And they went through their bumps, I think the first 4 games after her injury. But after that, they went on a roll and they never looked back. And I think the game changer for them was that game in McHale against Saguaro. Everybody thought that would be a highly competitive and close game, and they just took it to the Cougars.
Yeah, even with Rhodes' injuries, her stats were so incredible that her stats are better than a lot of girls who played 30 games. Yeah. She was that good.
She might be, when it's all said and done, she might be the best out of all of them, just by the way she plays her position at point guard.
Coach's daughter.
Yeah. And then
you look
Cameron Doty's, in my mind, she's the toughest player in Tucson, just the way she plays the game. And she's going to be playing for a Division I school overall when she's done next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I agree with Andy. When you look across Tucson, it's not just 1 or 2 players. You're talking about 3 players on one team, a couple players at Saguaro, and then you look across at Palo Verde. They had a 1,000+ point score. There's a lot of talent in Tucson right now, and we didn't even mention Calvin Efon's not daughter, but he's helping training her at Amphi, and she did really well at the McHale Center when we saw her.
Yeah, she's only a sophomore, but by the time she's a senior, she'll be highly sought after. Also, I saw Emma Wall play for Tanca Verde this year. She will be a Division I prospect by the time she's after next season. She's got height, very good basketball IQ, and skills. You could tell she's been playing basketball since she's about 5 years old. She'll be
Nelson,
highly sought after players.
Nelson at South Point. It's just can't forget her. And then
right.
Moran always pumps out strong talent. I think you mentioned what's her name from Marana that went on to star for Pima. She almost quit basketball.
Alyssa Perez.
Yeah, Alyssa Perez.
Mm-hmm. So, and then also to go with that, the coaching. Adia Barnes, Todd Holthouse, and then you look at some of the girls basketball coaches in town, like Steve Botkin and Perez at Marana. Yeah, and you look all around, and there's the level of coaching too has improved. Have you seen that, Andy?
Well, there's more of a longevity with on the girls' side. There's not a lot of moving, and plus. They either have been at their school for a long time, like Botkin, or their respected club coaches. It's just a powerful scene. It's not like Seton Catholic in Phoenix. Karen South is pumping out 3 Division I players a year on her team, and she's won like 12 or 14 state championships. But it's for what Tucson can get, this is pretty good on both sides, coaching and playing.
Yeah, it should be fun. It should be fun to watch these girls play next year because a lot of them are now going to be seniors, like Kaya DeRoe and Alyssa Brown. Hopefully things will go back to normal and they'll have a normal school year leading up to that. But it's going to be one of the best years ever for girls basketball in Tucson.
Well, Alyssa Brown.
I'm sorry?
Every time she scores like 30 points, going from where she is now, she's going to zoom to the top 5 in scoring history for Arizona. So it's going to be, all eyes are going to be on her as long as she, remains healthy, knock on wood and all that stuff. And then, she has some pretty good offers. So the Grand Canyon coach moved, as you pointed out, over to California, and she's very close to Alyssa. And you got to look beyond college. That might be a good move for her anyway, to move out and broaden her horizons. It's just going to be fun to watch her. And then Kaya also.
Yes, at Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you have anything else to add, Troy, to that?
Well, I think when you look at the talent in Tucson, and Andy spoke of it, the girl that Nia Butts missed out on a couple years ago that went to Colorado. I think it speaks volumes for a Diaz program is that, you have a talent like Kaya Duro here, and they recruit, and nothing against Duro, she's going to a great program, but Arizona, I wouldn't say they missed out on her. They just recruited some kids that were maybe a little bit highly sought of. 3 years ago, they couldn't have missed her. They needed to get somebody like that.
Yeah.
So just seeing where Arizona women's basketball is today across high school, Pima College, and U of A is tremendous.
And I think Bryce Nixon moving out, I think exemplifies that, because as Adia mentioned, she was a U of A Pac-12 level when she got recruited, but the program has exploded. So it's no slight on Bryce. She's very good.
Mm-hmm.
But U of A's in the Pac-12. And through Adia's, a lot of people said, oh, NIT, that's it. They're done. And then they had this year, and now she's at Sean Miller level almost, where, hey, here's the door. You're coming to go play for U of A. So, and I think that's great for Arizona to have a program that high. Unfortunate for some of the players who are mid-level talent,
Mm-hmm.
they came to help build a program. But, that's just the way things go now.
All right. Well, great. Appreciate it, you guys. We'll talk more about basketball and what girls basketball, women's basketball here in the next few shows, because it never ends, especially with Adia. She's having a press conference tomorrow. So
Recruiting.
talking more about that. Appreciate it. We'll be back here with another roundtable discussion. Thank you very much.